Thousands of years ago, they were Apollo, Zeus, Ares. Now they are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the other heroes and villains of DC and Marvel Comics. Join us every week as we discuss the legendary stories, characters, concepts, and other parts of comics as we examine the modern pantheon of heroes. Let's get heroic. Welcome to Under Two Capes, the podcast for the comic book fan. Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And today we're bringing you a very special hybrid episode. By hybrid, I mean we're talking about Marvel and DC. Marvel, we're going to start with because we're going to talk about What If. And then we actually have our first user-suggested topic. I'm going to close the window.
Yeah.
And that is going to be, we're going to talk about the Injustice animated movie.
Yes. Some of the details that have been released for that so far.
Which looks amazing. So we're going to start with What If. So we just watched the first episode, and I gotta say, I love how they kept like all the story beats from Captain America 1, because it was basically, I love how like so basically the crux of this is one decision like changes the universe. It's like this one decision is, so when Erskine says to Agent Carter, wouldn't you be more comfortable up there in the observation room? She says no. All of a sudden, that one decision changes everything.
Yeah, like
I'm like, wait a second.
I thought that was kind of funny. How like her staying there.
It even changes how soon the Hydra guy detonates the bomb.
Right. So she decides to stay down there, and she's more comfortable there. Okay. And so that what that affects is that people are positioned in the room differently, and the guy feels more uncomfortable. And the guy activates the bomb from downstairs, because before he was, I believe, upstairs also.
No, I think he left the bomb upstairs.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he left the bomb.
He was still there because he had to shoot Erskine.
That's true. So he was down there, but he decides to activate the bomb before the experiment happens. Now,
I love how Lad is trying to justify this.
We're getting the timeline exactly right.
He makes a good point.
Yeah.
I will accept you make a good point on that.
So he does that. And we see,
and then he shoots Steve, so he can't hop in the machine.
Yeah, he shoots Steve.
So Agent Carter hops in, and she becomes a super soldier.
Yeah.
What I liked is that when she's recovering, they're talking about, well, it could be worse. He could have turned you into he could have sent you to the USO. And I'm like, they're making jokes about Captain America 1.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I know that. It's kind of funny how they did some of those references to what we actually saw happen.
Yeah, that was so great. And then it's basically the Captain America movie sped up, but some events are changed, which I liked. First off, I liked how Captain Carter's suit looked pretty much like Steve's suit, except obviously it was skinned in the UK flag instead of the American flag, and even with the flag. With the shield instead of a star, it had the
X
the colors,
the cross,
of the British people.
Yeah, that was really cool. They did a good job with that. And
then they turned Steve into Iron Man, basically, which I thought was like, oh, that I didn't see coming. I like that.
Yeah, because with this, she was a bit more effective because she also, she had she didn't have that some of that emotional baggage that Steve had, and she had Steve there to support her, and she arrests what's his name, the scientist guy.
Zola.
She arrests her early. She arrests him earlier on. So on the train,
on the train.
Red Skull.
I thought it was Red Skull. We'll get to the train because something cool happens there. Okay, so go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
And we see her. She actually recovers the Tesseract before Red Skull can use it in this version, and. Howard's like, I got an idea to use, and he actually builds like a prototype Iron Man suit, because now with the Tesseract he can actually power it.
It's kind of like Tony having the arc reactor.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and I liked how it was pretty much the Mark 1 suit, only much more bulky.
Yeah, bulkier.
Like they didn't call him Iron Man; they called him the Hydra Stomper, which I like. What they should do is, if they ever make an Iron Man movie, they have to make that a skin and call it the Hydra Stomper. I will be very angry if they don't do that.
Yeah.
That's just a missed opportunity.
No.
You can even make the argument that that's a prototype Hulkbuster.
Right. It is that scale of a Hulkbuster, right?
So I like how they played off like she's Captain America, he's Iron Man, but they kept the fundamental relationship between Steve and Peggy. They're falling in love and all that stuff. So and they even sort of kept the same arc where they have a date to go dancing and all that.
Yeah. No, I like that. They did a lot of those like you said, the story beats were there.
So it was pretty much Captain Carter, the first Avenger, because the title of the episode was "What if Captain Carter was the first Avenger?" Actually, first off, what did you think of the Watcher, Uatu?
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him showing up. I always thought he was kind of a funny character. I mean, his big head is kind of funny.
I just love I love that one part where he goes, "I am the Watcher, and I don't interfere, and I will not interfere." I'm like, "Sure, you won't." By the way, here's the way he is in the comics. I'm not going to interfere. I'm going to interfere this just one time, and then that happens every time he says, "I won't interfere."
Yeah,
I must break my oath. What oath?
Yeah. It's like Batman's no-kill rule.
Batman never had a no-kill rule, okay?
Oh,
that was that's a misconception the fans have, but I'm not gonna. We can talk about that actually in the injustice discussion because that's relevant to that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just like, what rule, dude? If it's a vow and oath that's important to watchers, why are you still a watcher?
I guess so I guess we could do a quick coverage on Utao the Watcher. Uatu. I always
I think you know what? I don't care at this point. Just go ahead.
Watcher, big head dude.
The bobblehead.
We'll
call him bobblehead guy.
We need to get.
I need a Uatu bobblehead.
Okay, we need one.
I'm gonna get one. I'm getting one. So from now on here, since we're having issues at pronouncing his name, just call him bobblehead guy.
We'll call him bobblehead guy for now, and he's he's one of the Watchers. I'm not sure what ranking, like if he's higher up than others, but these beings are like really powerful. They have like all seeing, so they just like observe the galaxy and watch everything that's happened. They watch other realities and just observe everything that transpires, but they never are supposed to interfere with it because they have a lot of power so that they can observe the universe. But with that power, they're given the responsibility to not affect the course of events that happen.
Plus the fact they did do a cameo in Guardians 2. It's like when they're going through warp. It was the Stan Lee cameo. He's talking. It would be hilarious if they retcon it that he was actually giving he was actually some type of precog and he was telling him all these stories.
Yeah,
that'd be so great.
Yeah, we did see them in the MCU before. That brief moment where we saw a couple of the Watchers talking with Stan Lee.
In fact, fun fact from the comics, the white Nick Fury, I mean the one that was there before Samuel L. Jackson, he becomes the Watcher.
Oh, really?
He kills Uatu and then takes his place. So that's where the white Fury is in the Marvel universe. As far as I know, he's still there.
Yeah,
he could be dead. I don't know. But anyway, so that's basically in a nutshell who the Watcher is, and he's based. And the reason why he's in this is because in the comic book series, whenever they had the What If series, Uatu would tell you how it's supposed to go, and then he would say, "But in an alternate universe, this happened."
Is that what he did? Is that what they did?
That's what normally happens.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
DC's Tales of the Dark Multiverse are basically that, except the stories always turn out bad.
Yeah.
And they have a character named Tempest Fugonaut, who's basically the DC Watcher. But so the Watcher is always associated with What If. He's always like, I can see all these different realities, especially this one over there.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
But so we'll talk about it. It's the exact same plot pretty much as Captain America 1, which I enjoyed because Captain America 1 is one of my favorite MCU movies whatsoever because it's World War II movie and it's about a dude that punches Nazis with a shield that has the flag on it. You cannot get better than that.
That is a very good point.
The only way that what they should have done, I have one gripe.
Yeah.
They should have taken the Hydra Stomper and then just painted it American flag colors.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be really awesome.
It could be like Iron Patriot, but Steve.
Right.
Anyway, one of the things that I very much liked what they did. Okay, so let's talk about the train scene real quick. All right. So the train scene plays off kind of similar, in that there wasn't an Iron Man suit next. So Steve shows up. So it's the same plan, except this time, instead of Erskine being on the train, it's the Red Skull. They want to capture the Red Skull and stop him. Because basically what happens is that we see Schmidt, I think that's what his name is, Schmidt, it killed the Nazi guys. Everyone goes, Hail Hydra, the whole shebang from the movie. So actually, I'm going to pull a watcher. What happened in this scene in the original movie is that they're on there to get Zola.
Yeah.
And then there's like an explosion on the train because they're finding this Hydra guy that has 2 guns and something like that. And then Bucky is knocked off the train, falls, and then is captured by the Soviets and becomes the Winter Soldier. That's basically that whole thing. So what happens in this, in this reality, do you want to describe it?
Yeah. So they show up, and since we have Captain Carter as the Avenger here, the bring that military power, right? That strength, and then we have Steve also helping as the Hydra Stomper. They are combined forces. They easily stop the train. They infiltrate it, and they're just going to arrest Johann Schmidt. And then they're climbing up the train, and they're on the top of it. Steve is slowing it down, and Bucky almost slips and falls.
They almost did that. I was like, okay, I would be really pissed off if that's how they kill Bucky. Yeah. If they kill Bucky, but make it really dumb like that.
Yeah. And remember what she said? He said when she pulled him.
You ripped my arm out.
Yeah, you almost ripped my arm out.
Oh gosh, I was like, oh my God. If they did, I'm still angry at Marvel for Taskmaster, but that saved them a little grace that they didn't do that.
Yeah, that was really funny.
All right, so go on.
And then Steve stops the train, and they realize the train is just rigged with lots of classic dynamite explosives. Yeah. And it just blows up, and Steve gets, seemingly
Steve essentially is the Bucky in this situation. He seemingly dies. He doesn't. But and then he's later captured by Hydra, which I think is actually a pretty cool way of mirroring the Winter Soldier, because that's exactly what happened to Bucky. Obviously, Steve wasn't frozen, but I felt that was really, really cool how they even factored in Captain America 2 into it to an extent. And then they open a portal with the Tesseract. I thought that I knew she was going to go through the portal because I figured if she's going to be in multiple episodes, which they confirmed, and this is going to be in the What If universe, they might as well just have her just travel to all these different realities. In fact, I think that was one of the trailers where she meets one of the, I guess, variants. I don't know how to refer to this. I don't know how the TVA would call them. But so I knew she was going to go through the portal. But I didn't expect a tentacle creature to come out of it. I'm like, what reality is that open to?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. Was that supposed to be more of that Hydra creature that they get their symbol off of? What do they do?
Maybe that's actually a good point. Maybe in Hydra is actually based off an actual creature and not just simply cut off one head. 10 more will take its place.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had a squid type creature that they.
He's the one that impersonated Grant Ward.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that one. Yeah,
that was kind of. Yeah.
I wonder if it's that, or if he just meant to pull some giant creature from either another reality. Did they say another reality?
They said it was opening a reality portal. Okay. So I'm like, wait a second. Okay, so here's my other gripe with this. So she goes through the portal with the machine. Basically, the story is in the other reality where Captain America crashed the plane into the iceberg area. I can't talk today. In order to basically save everyone, and he gets frozen. Yeah. In this one, she gets launched into a portal and somehow leaves the portal in the future, the exact same moment Loki came out of in Avengers 1, which I thought was pretty cool too. Yeah. But they basically brought in 3 MCU movies in this, which I loved.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will say before I talk about my gripes with this movie. They did a fantastic job about referencing other MCU events and movies. I think they did it flawlessly. I love the way they do it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, right now, Lad, how would you rate the episode out of 10?
Oh, that's a good question.
I go 8.
Yeah, I was actually I was going for 8 also. I really liked it, and I'm just getting a feel for the series still.
Mhm.
And maybe my opinion will get better once I get a little more of the series.
Yeah, obviously I'm not talking about the entire series right now. I'm talking
Yeah.
about, but and we're going to talk about why we took off 2 points in a second. Lad and I have similar reasons. But so anyway, she goes through the portal. Here's my first issue. Why doesn't she come out the same reality that the squid monster's coming in?
That's a good question.
I'm like, and you can tell the other guys think that's where she's going.
Yeah.
I'm like, unless she was like portal hopping, what if, wait a second, I got an idea on how to explain this. It may not be the thing. What if that scene where she comes out and it's Avengers 1, what if that's actually the end of the series, and this whole series is her going through those portals after that monster?
Yeah, I mean that could be one thing. Yeah, we could see her, in a somewhere in between happening there.
And but I love how the Red Skull brings out the monster and the monster instantly crushes him.
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's funny
That's what you get, bro.
How little he was in the episodes.
That always happens in these shows where this one guy brings out a monster, the monster kills him.
Yeah, it's like Godzilla. Remember?
Godzilla, aliens. Yeah. It always happens.
Right. Yeah. Like you don't get a.
Don't mess with freaking kaiju.
Yeah. Like,
it doesn't work for you.
Like, what do you think he was gonna do? Control it or?
I don't know.
Like,
to quote Tony Stark, not a good plan.
It wasn't a good plan. What was he thinking he was gonna do?
I'm just like, okay, guys, but. It's just like, come on. But overall, loved it. And they did a fantastic job with the whole thing. First off, animation style was fantastic. I like this. I know some people were like not so big on it. Yeah. I liked it. I felt the animation was crisp, solid. I like how they still had all the sound effects too, like that sound the vibranium shield takes up whenever it hits someone.
Yeah, no, I really like that. And I like how they use like the animation to make the story feel maybe a little more fast paced with some of the action. Because, obviously real life, you can't do some of those type of physical stunts, but it looked really good in animation when they did some of that.
And Lad brought up, interesting fact, all of the voice actors except for Steve Rogers are the same from the MCU.
Yeah, like almost.
Or have voiced them at one point in the MCU, because obviously Hugo Weaving is not the Red Skull.
Yeah, but most of the voice actors actually come back. The actors actually come back, play their MCU counterparts. Like, to say that the big roles, obviously, we have Haley Atwell come back to be Captain Carter, and she's been around the MCU. Even though she had her series, she had her one series, Agent Carter, which
I have to see,
which you have to see, and which it's kind of similar to like the idea of like Loki or Falcon Winter Soldier, where it just focuses on a single character for 2 seasons. So that was before we had like Marvel Studio produced TV shows. So she set a precedent there.
And now conceivably they could fold in Captain Carter into the movies and the live action movies and just bring back Haley Atwell.
That'd be crazy if they did like a live.
That'd be great. Movie. Can you imagine Captain America Sam Wilson fighting alongside Captain? I almost said Captain Britain. That's an X-Men character, Captain Carter.
Yeah,
that would be so dope.
Man,
they're like fighting back to back with the Shield.
Yeah, I wonder if people would want something like that to see like her doing.
Put in the comments. Do you want to see Sam Wilson team up with Carter?
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Sharon Carter sees her.
Oh no,
she's like, what the hell?
Yeah. So I mean, we had her, and we had the Red Skull from Infinity War and Endgame came back and did his voice here. We even had Zola. He only did a couple lines, but he came back for that. Bucky, Sebastian Stan came in. He had a little bit more, and
I think the main general that was like constantly a creative Agent Carter saying women can't be soldiers. I'm pretty sure I've heard his voice from somewhere. That might have been one of the Russo brothers.
No, you know what? He was actually in like a short MCU film that was with Agent Carter.
I'm gonna check it out right now.
Yeah, Captain Flynn, Colonel Flynn. They said.
Okay.
They even had Stanley Tucci come back for like the 2 or 3 lines that Professor Erskine said. Like, they didn't even need to do that. Like, did anyone even notice if they didn't have him? So like, the only character also they had
to keep him in there to establish that, okay, we're starting in the scene where Captain America gets like rayed up.
Yep. So the only one that we didn't have was Steve. Like, Steve was someone else played him, but it still felt similar enough.
Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, Jeremy Renner as Barton, because Barton shows up all Dum Dum Dugan.
Yeah, that's why he had so much little couple lines here and there in the episode.
It's so cool to see Dugan too because I like that guy.
Yeah, I like seeing Damien Dark. That's Damien.
Oh yeah, that is Damien Dark.
Is that Damien Dark?
No, he plays Damien Dark in Arrow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I always
he's a good bad guy.
Yeah,
he plays the bad guy in like a lot of series.
Yeah. So I mean, they had like a lot of the good same people except for Captain America, Steve Rogers.
Which I'm like, okay, I get it, because Chris Evans has been pretty vocal that he's done with the MCU. Right. So I'm not gonna hold that against them. I got it.
Yeah, but for the most part, it felt like just a really solid addition.
I did feel the guy who played Steve was pretty good.
Yeah, he did a good job. If they want to do something else like a Steve story, I mean, we saw zombies like
Zombie Cap. Yeah, they Marvel. I really hope that's when the early ones get. I really want to see Marvel Zombies, baby.
Yeah, that'll be really good.
So another thing I want to talk about, I like how so going back to how it does the Avengers. So she comes through the portal into Avengers 1 with a sword, and then Nick Fury, like he did in Avengers 1, ma'am, please put down the sword. Yeah. And then Barton's like, no, that's Captain Carter.
Yeah, that's Captain Carter.
And then I swear for a second there, when he said, "Are you okay, Captain?" I thought she was gonna say, "I had a date."
Yeah,
that would be so good if they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, they want to make her make it a little bit different. I guess.
And I will say, I like Captain Carter as a character mostly. Now we're gonna get into my gripes. I think we have similar gripes with that. You want to start, or should I?
So then, what were we gonna say? That did she feel like sometimes she was too OP or something like that?
A little bit. Mine was she felt a little bit too much like, as we say in fiction, of Mary Sue, because there was a scene. I get that in combat, it's totally understandable. She's a super soldier, but it's like there's that one scene where like Stark is saying, okay, if I reverse the polarity of the portal, and he has a second, he's trying to spout off some scientific mumbo jumbo, and then she completes his sentence, but it's like, I'm like, where would you even learn this terminology? You're a soldier / field agent.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, like her combat was all really great, and
she's a super soldier. Yeah. It makes sense that she'd be able to do the most damage.
She can like smash the tentacle monster, and destroy the cars and jump onto the train. Like she did like all those awesome, really cool things. But like that one scene felt a bit funny, kind of a little bit forced, like trying to make her seem like good at everything. When like
too much like Ray,
like a little bit too good at everything. Like I don't feel like realistically like Steve or Peggy would know about quantum physics.
Yeah, because she wasn't even a scientist.
Yeah,
like what?
I feel that, but I mean, it wasn't
enough to make me go, okay, I hate this. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, I can afford that.
It felt like it did play in for a little bit of funny jokes.
I did like Howard, I did like the whole anti-woman thing. Women can't be soldiers, because what that's doing is it's establishing the context around which the story is taking place, because it's contrasting with Steve Rogers, first off, and second off, back in the 1940s, that's how women were treated. I didn't really take that as like an SJW thing, because that's what happened. This is what would realistically happen if she got it first.
I hope there actually is. I wonder if there are people on the internet that
I'm sure there are. But
it makes really
most of the time, whenever they complain about SJW stuff, I disagree with them, because I'm like, I can see where this fits. This is one of the examples. You're doing a story in World War II.
Yeah, it definitely made sense. It's something I didn't think about, like when I initially saw the trailers, like, oh, she's gonna be Captain America. That's cool. And I didn't think about that. The other side was like, oh yeah, especially at this time, I don't think the women were considered to be on the battlefield.
It would have been even stupider if they just all of a sudden accepted her.
Right. It'd be like,
that's not gonna happen.
That's true. That's a really good point. It'd be like someone from World War I getting into a plane and knowing how to fly a World War II.
Oh yeah. I'm still really from
Wonder Woman 1984.
No, but I like that, because you're doing a story in that time period. I will say my favorite action scene, I will go into our favorite action scenes, is the scene, it's a montage shot, but it's when she goes into the bomber plane. She goes through the window, she jumps off the plane, smacks into that other fighter jet, and then jumps onto Steve's back.
Yeah, that was really
That whole air combat scene was like, oh.
That was really good.
It's kind of reminiscent of the Winter Soldier 2 when he jumps on the Quinjet and just wrecks it.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. That was a really good moment.
What was your favorite moment?
Oh man, favorite moment.
Although I did like, my favorite line was the Winter Soldier when you're gonna rip my arm out.
Oh man, I think it may be the scene where we see her kind of first using her power, her powers there to recover the Tesseract.
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
I really like seeing that, like all that action going on right there. But
With her dudes kept coming out, and she's just like bashing people left and right with the shield. A missed opportunity. Steve nor her said, "I can do this all day."
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, "Oh, come on, guys."
Yeah.
Although, once again, I'm fine with it, but I just wish that at least Steve says it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that. We'll get that line eventually.
We'll get it soon. They'll have Carter say it, which I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's see. What else can we talk about with the series? So we talked about the animation style. I liked it. It looked like a comic book. That's why I liked it that much.
Yeah, it felt really.
And I like they start off showing the normal MCU intro from Marvel Studios, and then when they get to the Marvel Studios logo, it's animated.
Yeah. No, that was kind of funny that they did that a little bit there.
Well, they had to do the intro to tell you this is taking place in the MCU, air quotes, mind you.
Yeah, like very tangentially related.
Well, it's a multiverse.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great idea that this came out after Loki.
Right. Because then you can kind of like explain it that it's like, oh, it's well, I mean, you could kind of see that it's not like really canon, but you could technically throw it in that like everything is canon.
No. Here's the thing. With the multiverse, everything is canon.
Yeah.
That's why I say the Snyder Cut is canon, because DC Warner Bros. Themselves have said in the multiverse. So by that rule, it's canon.
Yeah.
I just happen to like that Earth more than whatever the hell they're throwing together. As opposed to certain movies, I love James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I'm just saying I like that Justice League more. All right, back to this. But yeah, because the reason why I like it coming after Loki is because it immediately answers what happened at the end of Loki.
Yeah.
Now, Lad hasn't seen Loki.
Fully,
do you mind if I kind of spoil that?
Well, yeah, you talked about the.
I mean, if you got on the internet, you know the multiverse is established. So yeah, it immediately starts off like, I wonder what's gonna happen next. There you go.
Yeah. So see Uatu
bobblehead guy.
Bobblehead guy.
I need to watch her bobblehead.
Wait, I wonder if the Funko Pop Fred would have an even bigger head.
That would be so good.
A regular Funko Pop, that's like a normal.
It doesn't even
head.
stand up; it just falls over.
Yeah, like this with the bobblehead. This is like would be normal for this proportion of bobblehead would be normal for the watcher, So
its head is like as big as this statue right here.
Nice.
But yeah, so let's see. Now that we've talked about I think we've talked about Captain Carter. Before we go to the Injustice movie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to mention that we have 10 episodes for this, but they also confirmed that we are getting a season 2.
Yes.
So they said that we are getting a season 2 at some point. And there's also the rumors that they are they said that they're setting up a small animation studio within Marvel Studios
to handle this. I want more animated series.
We might get more animated content.
That's how they bring in the X-Men. Yeah. They do an animated series, but I really hope they at least keep the soul of the animated intro and just update it and then just do that.
Yeah.
Even if it's in that animation style. I think that I could work well for the X-Men.
There you go.
But anyway, yes, I heard that too. That's fantastic. I love how they're going more into animation too, because that's a way to on a cheaper scale. And I don't mean cheaper as in less quality. I just mean cheaper as in less monetary resources required to tell the same stories. And here's the thing about doing animated series: you don't have to worry about how long the story is.
Yeah.
That's why it was great. The Snyder Cut was on HBO Max and broke up into chapters. You can just watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely like that. So as I was going to say, so Lad, what do you think the next What If story is going to be? Do you think they're going to go Marvel Zombies? Do you think they're going to, of the ones we've seen, do you think they're going to do Guardians of the Galaxy Black Panther?
Yeah, I wonder if they might, because obviously the Captain Carter one was really heavily promoted. So that it makes sense they did that one first. But I feel like they could do the T'Challa Star-Lord one, because that was like, I feel like maybe like, really up there with the ones they promoted.
With me, it's either that one or Marvel Zombies.
The Marvel Zombies.
Because they know the people want that Marvel Zombies one.
Yeah, that could be.
What I'm wondering is what's the one choice that started Marvel Zombies?
So, I actually saw a really good theory someone posted online
Let's hear it.
for where it could be. So I'm gonna preface this with spoilers if you don't want to like know what it could be if it turned out to be true.
Well, it's a theory.
It's a theory.
It's a theory. You don't have to spoil it.
But it's a theory, but I feel like it's actually like a really good theory that it could be true.
It could. Bear in mind, this could actually happen.
So I'm
Go
gonna
on.
So someone actually said that. Remember at the beginning of Captain America: Civil War, we saw Crossbones break into that facility and all set off civil war.
Mhm.
But what he was doing is he was stealing a virus from a high facility, high biohazard facility. Remember? And he was carrying the vial, and they were all chasing him around because the vial of like some super contagious virus, like coronavirus or something like that. And they defeat him, so the virus is put back. But someone said, what if the virus breaks while they're having that whole encounter and it causes like a zombie apocalypse on the planet or something, or he gets away with it and they activate it and it creates a zombie virus on Earth? Because I totally forgot that was a plot point at the very beginning of the movie when they were
stealing a bioweapon.
They
actually call it a bioweapon. I'm like, yeah,
the bioweapon.
That makes sense.
So maybe that is what they do.
Could be that. It could be that, or it could be also. In Civil War, at the end, and they're in that Winter Soldier facility.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm thinking about that's the most likely one because that was actually a virus.
Right. I think that might be the only time we actually talked about a virus that occurred. And I wonder if all these what ifs, do they always start with like one decision changing, or do they sometimes kind of just do it like the world got overtaken by like a zombie virus?
No, they always start with here's the way it normally is, and then here's one thing changed, and that's to set off these turns of events.
I see.
I'm trying to think what else. What other Marvel movies have we really gotten an indication of what could start a zombie virus?
Yeah, I mean,
there's not really that much besides that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I think that's probably a spoiler thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only time, because there's never had a villain that tried to poison the whole Earth or something, unless we got something.
Yeah, this could be like a playoff of Guardians 2 with the flower thing.
That's true. It could be, because it looked like it was. It could be something where Ego,
because they could show the Avengers actually did respond, and then they got infected with something.
Maybe. It could
what if the Avengers actually did something when there was a world threat?
Yeah, it could be something like that. It could be something one of those otherworldly ones cause an effect.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be an Earth-born thing.
Yeah.
What if? I got it. Infinity War. What if Thanos didn't come but dropped a virus to weaken the population?
That's true. It could be if he actually had come to, drop a virus, and we.
Because why would you invade when you could just make them kill each other? You're done.
That's true. That could be something. That could be what happens. Yeah.
And then he just decides, I'll just kill the zombies when I get down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think of the ones that we mentioned, I think yours is the most likely one, honestly, because that's the most one that was be like, okay, what if this virus got broken?
Yeah, that may be what happens,
and that's what starts that's the what if Civil War. That's the Civil War.
So you think about it, the one zombie we definitely gonna see a lot of zombies there, but zombie Captain America was one they highlighted. It could be because he was at the epicenter, like maybe like Crossbones released the bomb right there.
If it's that one, here's my theory. What happens is that they do the Crossbones fight, but it's like it gets out, but it's not like a widespread outbreak yet. Captain America is infected, but he doesn't know he's infected yet. Okay. He goes back to the Avengers compound. He starts to change, and then the Avengers compound is where it starts.
That could be it.
He spreads it to the other Avengers, and then Tony Stark is like, I haven't heard anything from. When Captain America is infected, and then everything turns out normally.
Yeah.
In other words, the Sokovia Accords get passed and everything. They're hanging out. Captain America turns in the Avengers compound before Tony Stark shows up. Tony Stark shows up, and then he sees everyone's dead and zombified.
Yeah, that could be interesting. That could definitely be what happens.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely excited. And then we saw with the Black Panther Star-Lord, it's just he's taken instead of Peter. So let's see, what other ones are there? Wasn't there a Spider-Man became Doctor Strange one?
Yeah, so they actually showed Doctor Strange, or Spidey with Doctor Strange's cloak, the cape, who's actually kind of like a character, and they actually referred to him in the product advertising as Monster Hunter Spider-Man.
Oh, that's so dope.
So it seems to be like he's kind of like, some sort of like, he is the Sorcerer Supreme, and he's actually hunting maybe these zombies that, no, he's Zombie Hunter Spider-Man is what he's called.
So you know what they're gonna do? It's like I said, pretty much what this is looking like.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, which MCU movie did Spider-Man debut in?
Civil War.
So what I think it's doing is like he's gonna be a character in the zombies one, and then it's gonna play off like we just said, and then he's gonna be the one to fight to defeat the zombies.
I forgot about that. That Civil War was also the one where he shows up in. So I feel like that leads even more good evidence for that, right?
That leads to that eventuality even more. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny because I think the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man first leaked from the Lego product.
Stop releasing the Lego models.
And also, I think they put out some promotional stills, but that's the first time I saw it was when they put it in the name of the character for the
That's
Lego
the most annoying thing they do is release the toys early.
It's always the Legos. You gotta watch out.
I have a theory on a what if, and it's one that I think it's going to be. So, they did one with like one of the Guardians of the Galaxy were the Avengers.
Yeah.
I think what that one is, what if the Avengers lost the Battle of New York? Because we noticed, look at this surrounding area. It's wrecked.
Yeah.
So I think is that the Battle of New York happened. It's just the one thing that's different. They lost. Somehow they lost, and then it cuts to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That's a good idea. They get defeated, and we see like a, Guardians of the Galaxy like group show up.
And then what if it's also like what if Gamora killed Thanos because she has the Thanos armor and the sword?
Yeah.
Does she have the glove?
I didn't see that. It could be more she's like just conquering as Thanos maybe. We have to.
What if Gamora was Thanos?
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying though, because the New York looked really damaged.
Yes.
So let's see. Okay, so there's that one. So are there any other ones that you could think of that we could theorize out?
Let's see. No, I mean, like I guess we'd have to actually go through like some of the trailers and kind of see like what other ones have they hinted at so far that we saw there. But we've seen obviously the Spider-Man running around. We saw Zombie Cap. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones we saw in the What If story.
We saw Zombie Cap. I mean, we saw the Black Panther Star-Lord, but that's just he gets taken for instead of the other guy, instead of Peter Quill.
We saw somewhere Vision was wearing like some armor or something like that.
I think what if Vision became Ultron? What I think that one is, it's Age of Ultron, except what if Ultron had actually transferred his consciousness into Vision?
Oh, that'd be so. I loved it.
That's what I think.
That's a really good point. That could be it.
That's what it is.
That'd be what. Because that'd be really cool. Because
that was the plot point, right?
Yeah, he was trying to create like the ultimate body for him to inhabit, right?
What if he did? What
really
if
cool.
Ultron won Age of Ultron? That could be what that is.
That'd be really cool. Because that could be it. I didn't think about that. Maybe that's not actually Vision there, but it's just like, the looks like Vision, but it's actually Ultron, right?
Like, what if I got it? It's actually what if Ultron won? And the whole point is that he gets the Vision body, he defeats the Avengers, he smashes the rock into Earth, wipes it all life. Then it gets into Infinity War and Endgame where Thanos shows up, and then we have a Viztron versus Thanos.
That'd be awesome.
Because the perfect life form versus the dude with the gauntlet.
Yeah. I know that could definitely be it. We saw some stuff like, I think Shuri maybe leading some of the Wakandans against, I forget if it was like Thor's people or something like that. I forget what it was.
There's one more that was in the market we forgot. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark?
Oh yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see. They're like, he
was a Navy SEAL, so that explains that. But I wonder how is that? Tony Stark makes him the suit.
Could be that he makes him the suit. He builds it for him.
If this is how they bring back Killmonger and make him like a multiverse Iron Man, that'd be so dope.
That'd be really cool.
This could be what makes me like Killmonger, guys.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
I hear it's actually I believe he's keeping his MCU actor, right?
I think that may be right.
Which, yeah, because there's no way Michael B. Jordan is going to pass up an opportunity to do that.
I know we saw that we saw Thor around. You know, we don't know what
Thor was something.
We don't know what he's doing, but we obviously heard Chris Hemsworth's voice very clearly.
It'd be hilarious if it was what if Thor was the god of mischief.
Yeah, God, that'd be
that
really
would be
fun.
great.
That they're actually reversed it, like Thor was actually the.
That would be. What if Thor was the loser brother?
Yeah, and he was actually the what the.
Then watch. Wait. The Loki show in this universe is actually Thor.
Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The TVA is actually the AVT.
Yeah.
Everything's reversed.
Loki, Ragnarok.
And it would be great is if maybe in like a future series, because they're doing an animation studio, they do like a TV show that's just the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, they tell stories like in a different
multiverse.
Thing like
because they wouldn't have to change that much of the MCU, because the MCU is pretty much the Ultimate universe to this, in that everything is derivative of the Super Soldier Serum, the Hulk, Cap, and like the differences are that Tony Stark does not have an inoperable brain tumor, so that's what he does in the Ultimate Universe. Where he does it. That's the impetus for him being Iron Man, because he wants to make sure he leaves a good impact on the world.
I see.
And obviously Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury, both in the comics, and they modeled the Ultimate Nick Fury after Samuel L. Jackson. That's why he's reading it and he was like, I gotta play this guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so I think that's a good place to leave it. I love this series. If this is the quality that we can get, I'm excited for what we're gonna see, because this is fantastic. I wish they had done this sooner. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Although I think this is the best way to do that, because they just introduced the multiverse. So I can understand why they waited so long. Plus the fact the multiverse is really intimidating to explain to people.
Yeah, I think this will be a good introduction for some people that maybe they haven't seen as many of all the movies, but they kind of give you everything you need to know just right from it, right?
Plus, it's a fantastic way to see which characters are popular and should we bring into the movies, because they're like, guarantee you Captain Carter will show up, because I'm pretty sure she's already popular.
Yeah,
rightly so, because she was short of that one line with Howard Stark, loved her.
Yeah, no, Haley Atwell's also been, even though she was only really in the first Avenger.
She was in Endgame.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like in terms of like her,
in terms of a prominent role,
like that was her only prominent role, but she still stuck around for so long, in the 10 years since then. Like she was, I believe she played the old lady version of her in Cap 2. She got her own series for the ABC, the Agent Carter TV show.
She cameoed in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the other Howling Commandos.
Exactly, and they even like brought her back for that scene in Endgame where a couple of times when they showed
a couple of times
running around there. So she's been really like a dedicated person staying in it.
She's part of the MCU.
Yeah, she's been loyal with it, as opposed to some people like Natalie Portman who decided to abandon their MCU status.
I'm not a big fan of Portman, but yeah, that's why it's like when they announced them, like, okay, Haley Atwell is going to play Captain Carter. There's like no doubt in my mind that they were going to leave. Yeah. If there was one person they were going to bring back, it was going to be Haley Atwell.
Yeah, and it's really cool because
she loves playing the character. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, and it's not even from not just the MCU, but she even reprised her roles in other stuff, like in the Avengers Assemble TV show. She actually came in for like one episode to play Haley
Carter.
Yeah,
she was in. Yeah. Wait. She was in Avengers Assemble.
Yeah. There was one episode where I'm not, because it was obviously it's in the current day, so they don't go back as much. But there was one episode where there was some sort of time travel event where Steve and Cap. There's this time portal that
Cap
opens.
Is Steve.
Cap, yeah. Well, Cap is Steve. Yeah. I mean, Steve and Tony are working together, and this time portal is opened, and Howard Stark and Peggy come from the past, and they have to work to solve a mystery together.
Okay.
Things happen. So Howard and Tony Stark actually team up for an episode, which is really cool. And they actually got Haley Atwell came and played her.
That's dope.
In Avengers Assemble. So she's
really, like, there's no way she's gonna pass up an opportunity to play this character.
I know. So even though she's only had the prominent role in that one movie 10 years ago, she's been dedicated to the character in whatever media form it is. She always wants to come back and play her. So it's really cool to see her get such a big starring episode like we saw in What If.
She's a good actress, and once again, love the character of Agent Carter. I felt she was a good like analog for Captain America. It was really well. Although my other problem is that there's no way a super soldier created by the U.S. government would be walk around in any other colors than the American colors. But I'll allow that
cool
because she's
enough.
British and it looks cool.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
All right. So transitioning away from What If, we're going to talk about Injustice real quick. Not real quick. We're going to talk about it. So this was actually a suggestion by a listener named Robert Kennedy on our YouTube channel. Robert, if you're listening, we love you, buddy, and be sure to suggest more content.
Yeah.
So, context. So they recently announced that they're making an Injustice animated movie, which had me singing to the high heavens, because long time I've been saying if there's one project you make an animated movie of DC, it's Injustice. Mm-hmm. So, lad, what do you think of the Injustice movie news?
Yeah, it looks really exciting because we saw, we've known about the Injustice games, and the second one came out, and that was really exciting. It's been a little while, and now we have, we got lots of comics, but we actually got the announcement of an anime movie based off of Injustice. And they make lots of animated movies, and some of it's based off of previous storylines, and some of it's, a couple
Long Halloween,
right? They usually adapt the comic storyline, right?
However, loosely,
but sometimes loosely,
but they do try to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right.
And this is something where we see, the long tradition of the DC movies. They're now adapting this storyline, which is a really popular storyline, the Injustice universe.
And I think they should do it as the next DC AMU, because Injustice is like a multi-volume, multi-year storyline. There's no way they can do it in just one movie, and there's no way they should just do like year one in one movie. So basically, just to make sure you guys know, in case you are living under a rock and don't know the story of Injustice, the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane because he makes her think she's Doomsday through Scarecrow's fear toxin and all that stuff. He kills, so Superman flies her into space, killing her and the unborn baby. And then there's a nuclear bomb tied to her heart. By tied, I mean the detonator is tied to her heart. So when she dies, the bomb goes off, killing Metropolis too. Mm-hmm. Superman comes back, pissed as hell, kills the Joker. And then he starts slowly becoming a dictator because Wonder Woman manipulated him because she wants to control man's world. Yeah. And then Batman's like, hey, and the Batman says in the trailer, we're not supposed to govern people.
Yeah.
So that was that whole big conflict. But the issue is, and Superman kind of blames Batman for what happened to Lois, because Superman's like, you had all these opportunities to kill the Joker and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get Batman's no killing rule, but the Joker's the one guy. Maybe you should break that rule for just once.
Yeah.
You're gonna be. Like this way, if you really are that concerned, you're not going to be able to stop killing. You shouldn't be a superhero. Have some self-control, bro. So, what do you think, lad?
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like a interesting morality storyline where you kind of see, I think people always, something I've always wondered, like, well, Superman's so powerful, why can't he just fix all the world's problems super simple like that? Or Justice League, why can't he just fix every single problem in the world, right? And this is a storyline where we see
it answers that question.
It answers that question where, I mean, maybe if he didn't have such a tragic origin here, right, it wouldn't have been as extreme to start off with. But you see that mentality where Superman realized that something bad happens to him, and he's just so
he's like,
affected by that.
Yeah, he's like, I can't afford to be a passive participant anymore, because the woman I love and my unborn kid was just killed because I'm not willing to go far enough.
Right. So he answers that question like, I have all this power to control the entire world. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so we actually get to see what happens when Superman tries to fix every single problem in the world in the way he can. So he basically takes away the free will of people, and all the freedoms of people, so that he can have security. That question between freedom and security, and you get to see, well, everyone is completely safe, but you have to follow what he says now.
But you have absolutely no freedom whatsoever. Yeah. And Batman's like, wait a second, this is not right, Clark, because Batman's thing is like, we should not be governing people because, for one thing, they didn't elect us, and second off, it's like, it's just not our job. We're supposed to help people so they can govern themselves.
Yeah. And, Superman is wondering, we have all this power, then we have a responsibility to we could use it to, we could, like he said, we can make a perfect world. They think they can make a perfect world if they just protect everyone, but you get to see what happens if
they made a point like that in Infinite Crisis, because when the Golden Age Superman is fighting our Superman, he basically goes, my world was perfect before you guys started polluting it with your negativity. It's basically an admonition of like all the dark comics. And then our Superman says, wait a second, if your world is perfect, why does it even have a Superman?
Yeah, oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a perfect world, it doesn't need superheroes. But anyway, so the reason why Injustice is good for an animated movie universe, because all the different volumes slowly brought in like other parts of the DCU. You had a Magic volume. You had one where Deathstroke does like a heist. You have like you have the Suicide Squad. In other words, it's a good way, like Justice League Unlimited, to tell a broader storyline with a massive cast of characters and do it in like nice small chunks. So you can have Injustice 1 is your one where it's everything gang set up. You can basically turn the comics for each of the individual years, and then Injustice 2 into its own movie.
Right. No, that's a really good. It's a good move. It's cool. It answers my question, was like, why doesn't Superman just fix everything?
Because you're gonna see what happens when he does.
Yeah,
it doesn't turn out that well.
Right. Yeah.
And you're gonna see what happens is, so what Superman has to do is that when he compromises one of his morals by killing the Joker, that sets him down on a path of he has to kill other people, and that's what happened, and that's what Batman's afraid of. Actually, that's interesting, because the Injustice proves Batman was right. Because here's the thing, because in Injustice 2, the game, the storyline, Supergirl shows up, and she's like wondering, why the hell are people scared of me with the S shield? And she doesn't know yet what Clark became. So when Clark's explaining it to her, and she goes, you took a life, didn't you? And then Superman said, I took one life to protect everyone. And then Kara goes, but it wasn't just one life, was it?
Yeah.
In other words, Superman straight up murders so many people in this storyline, including Alfred, Shazam, Green Arrow.
Yeah. So we see that path
to the point where actually what's kind of funny is that the two things about Injustice. There's this one funny part I hope they put in the movie where the government's response to Reign and Superman is to kidnap his parents.
Oh yeah.
So Batman's like, are you insane? They won't find your body on Saturn.
Yeah.
And then so the point is, and then in the Fortress of Solitude, after they rescue the Kents, so you know how Superman has that little AI of Jor-El that he talks to?
Yeah.
So the parents so Martha and John Kent are talking to that AI, and the AI goes, we're sorry we sent this to your planet.
Yeah. At
this point, he's too far gone, and then he just goes nuts.
Man, that's really scary.
To the point where Superman becomes a Yellow Lantern. He is chosen, and it says, Kal-El of Krypton, you have the ability to instill great fear. And then and then what happens is everyone becomes afraid of Superman, and that in turn feeds his power.
Yeah, man, that's a really good.
It's a really nutball storyline. It gets really crazy,
man.
But and it's Elseworlds, so you can do pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah, I like it how they take the plot armor off, because a lot of times we have the plot armor of certain characters protected, but we see like, hey, Superman just literally uses his full power to just you can really wipe someone out really fast, or just
Superman is not holding back in this one.
Yeah, it's like plot armor where like Superman doesn't actually like damage anyone, or other heroes won't get killed because they gotta reuse them, but they just anyone is free reign. Like
there's a very few people who make it through the Injustice comics.
Yeah,
because they told Tom Taylor when he wrote the comics, he goes, do whatever, kill whoever you want. Elseworlds.
Wow, that's awesome.
To the point where I think the comics came out before the movie, and they had a tough time trying to figure out which characters to put in the movie because Tom Taylor kept killing them. It's like, I can't put this guy in there. Tom killed him.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you think that the movie will also bring in that idea where they recruit the heroes from the regular universe?
That is a good question, because right now it looks like they're doing the whole 1 through 5 year, and what that was the prequel to the game. If they did a movie on the Injustice game, which is called Injustice, I think it's called Warzone or something like that, yes, they would do that. But I think for this movie, no, because it looks like they're doing the because the way it works for Injustice 1, there was years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and then War Zones, and then they did Injustice 2, and then Injustice 1, the prequel, and all that stuff. But basically, they're doing I think they're doing year 1. That's gonna be the first movie, because that's the one that could realistically fit in like a 90-minute movie. And then I think movie 2 is they're gonna basically make this, I think, the next AMU, and then just gonna go down the line with this. And then they're gonna do and then they'll do an adaptation of the game, or they won't do it because you can just watch the game cutscenes.
Yeah,
I would like an animated movie of that, honestly, because still that'd be so dope. They've made animated Mortal Kombat movies. I'm pretty sure they can do this.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, we don't do we see any scenes in like their preview that show they could be having the game, storyline in it yet, or is it all just seem like the setup?
The only one that the only thing I saw was familiar with was just the year 1 stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, is there, like you said, the comics go all the way into year 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Like, there's actually storylines
for Injustice 1. It's basically talking about from the day Joker blew up Metropolis to the game. Here's what happened. Here's how Superman built his regime.
So, and you've read those, or?
I am familiar with the storylines of them. I've either read them or watched the story, or watched the summaries on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Because I remember we went through.
I know who dies.
Yeah, we went through year 1 together, so that's why.
Yeah, that was a podcast episode. And we'll do the what we're going to start doing when we get back to DC is doing all the other years because of this.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Now, another interesting fact. Another interesting point going back into the Snyderverse part of this discussion. So, as you know, the overall plot that Zack was trying to go for in terms of the DC movies, in terms of the Justice League movies, was sort of an injustice-y universe where Superman rules the world. What if this does really well, and then it makes Discovery, not Warner Bros., because Discovery's in charge, say, "Hey, Zack, weren't you trying to do something like this? Can you do it? Don't worry about it. We'll put on HBO Max. You can have a theatrical release, but we'll put on HBO Max. So don't worry about the length. Do whatever you want. Go ahead." Because it's a freaking else. They keep telling me it's an Elseworlds.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
If it's popular, because remember, Warner Brothers is not convinced that a storyline like Superman becoming a dictator is popular. I guarantee you the animated movie is going to be popular.
I mean, I guess it's questionable because they saw the reaction to Man of Steel where Superman was just a little bit darker. The initial reaction. Yeah,
the initial reaction before the Snyder Cut, people were like, "We were completely wrong, do it."
And the question is, I know earlier on in the with the DC movies, starting with Man of Steel, people didn't like how dark they were or how edgy they were, especially compared to the MCU, which really made things a lot more lighthearted, serious but lighthearted. I wonder now, have we seen a shift where people enjoy darker storylines from DC? Because we see a lot of R-rated films make a lot of money, like Joker and other things.
I think
Suicide Squad.
I don't think Suicide Squad made a lot of money, but still. But I think since the Snyder Cut, when people see what he was building toward and the reason why he had to start off at that point in Man of Steel, I think people are ready now for whatever Snyder wanted to do.
Yeah.
Plus, like whenever he does anything, it's trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
So again, it's inevitable. I think that's going to show that at one point what will happen is that after Injustice comes out, we'll hear some inkling of the Snyderverse, or Snyder's talking to like someone, or they'll straight up say, we'll reach out, or someone will ask them on Twitter. So somehow we'll get an inkling that something's happening, and then we'll get an announcement. I guarantee you at some point it'll happen. I'm still maintaining hope that we're going to get at least Justice League 2 and 3.
It's like, a fan asked him on Twitter, like, "Hey, so what about any Justice League news?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Justice League 2 and 3 are dropping on, HBO Max tomorrow."
Yeah, they were preparing this entire time, and I would be like, "What do you mean this?" It's like emergency, boom, boom, boom. He drops it on Christmas as a Christmas present to the fans.
Oh boy.
I said because he would have to have been filming everything 2 years in advance, but still, I go just saying that'd be great. But yeah, or they could just say, just do it as an animated series or like animated movies. Just do that.
Yeah.
And see if you can get the like all the people to revise the voice, because I guarantee you Ray Fisher will do it. I think Jason Momoa would do it. I'm pretty sure Cavill, everyone that's a close friend with Zach would come and do it.
Is Ben Affleck?
Yeah,
Okay.
he came back as Batman for those ending scenes because Zach asked him.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, because remember he was out of rehab and everything. He was like, if it's for Zach, I'll do it. I think they shouldn't have that because here's the thing: we're doing an animated series. It's not that big of a time commitment for the people. I have to come in for like a day and record lines. That's it.
True. Yeah.
That's another thing about anime. It's easier on the actors too in terms of time commitments. So conceivably, we could see look this way: if we only get 2 animated sequels to the Snyder Cut and that's it, and look this way: if they continue Zach's DCEU as an animated movie series, fine, that's fine. At least we got it.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with that. I would like to see it in live action, but you know what? At least we will have gotten something.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Injustice. All right, so another thing I like about that, they're clearly not holding back on the gore because he punches a hole in the Joker and the blood comes out.
Yeah, and Joker's still alive.
He's like, no, that's what I call punchline. That's so Joker, by the way.
I liked how they showed us a lot of the the behind the scenes, like storyboarding and like
you
their
see
ideas.
Batman's shocked face. That's the first time I've ever seen Batman like that shocked.
Yeah,
because that's his face in the comic too.
Oh really?
He was not expecting Superman to just boom.
That's right, because Green Lantern didn't get to warn them that Superman was coming.
No, because what happened is that Superman goes off on his way to the Joker. Superman runs into Green Lantern and Lantern's like, "Hang on, dude, cool down. Don't do anything you're gonna regret." And then Superman like basically uses super speed and takes off Hal's ring.
Yeah, and
just leaves him there. So basically, no one can stop Superman. He shows up, he bangs through the door and just punches Joker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like. So it's probably most likely gonna be an R-rated movie.
Man, yeah.
Which it's not a lot. Let me ask you this: it's an animated movie. Is this something that you would see with me?
I don't know. I guess I want to see. Depends on how everything shakes out.
Wait until the trailer comes out, and we'll see. And we'll see what really happens.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I did like how they showed like all the stuff. I like that one scene, and that's straight from the comics where Harley Quinn's like, "The Arrow Cave is so stupid. Why don't you call it the Quiver?" And then Green Arrow's like, "That is actually way better." That's cool. Legit from the comics. I'll show you. It's so good.
So this definitely seems to be more an adaptation of year 1 or maybe year 1 and year 2, but like before the games.
Just year 1. Yeah, it's a prequel to the games.
I see. That's pretty interesting.
It was only inevitable that DC was going to do something with Injustice because it's been their most popular product in like forever. And who does animated better than DC? Yeah. In terms of the big 2.
That's true. That's a good point.
So it's only a matter of time because I get the feeling that DC is sensing the MCU fatigue because already Black Widow didn't do so well.
Yeah.
And Captain Carter didn't get as high of a viewership. So already people are showing like tiredness of Marvel.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll see. I hope not because I love what they did with What If. But I'm just telling you, the numbers wise, it's not looking good for Marvel. So DC has an opportunity here. Can you imagine the buzz and they wouldn't have to pay a cent for marketing if they said, "Oh yeah, we're just going to do the Snyderverse. We're done." All right. So anyway, back to Injustice. Now, what they could also do, this could launch again another animated movie universe or an animated series where they talk about where it's in that world and they could do all the storylines, even the prequel ones that go back to World War II with the Justice Society.
Yeah. I mean, that would be, that'd be really exciting. I mean, that would be super cool.
There's so much that they could do with this. There's a lot of potential. I am really excited.
Yeah.
Lad, what about you, Lad? Are you excited?
Yeah, I mean, it really sets, that precedent there where they're exploring a territory that's really popular for the fan base. So it's a really good area to just see content in.
And I got an idea, dude. This may not happen, but what if they do the thing where the other heroes cross over, but it's the characters from like Superman, Man of Tomorrow, the Justice Society, Justice League come through. What if that's what happens and they're the good side?
That's a good question. They could do that.
Because they have the other animated world going on right now.
Yeah. That could be the case.
Or this is the prequel to that.
Maybe, yeah.
That would be a total mind-blowing if they're setting up the Injustice universe.
Yeah. That means it's definitely possible.
If they do that, that will be like the biggest, like, I did not see this coming ever.
Yeah, no. Boy.
Because it's all the origins of these characters so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing I liked is that first off, the actor who played Black Bolt in the Inhuman show, the terrible Inhuman show, is the voice of Batman. The actor who played Green Arrow in Smallville is playing Superman.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
You have a lot of people who are associated with some type of superhero property, which I like. I think that's great. I think the guy who plays the Joker is pretty good. It's not Mark Hamill, but you know what?
He's not going to be in it that long anyway, so I think
he's only going to be in there for like 5 minutes, I guarantee you.
Yeah, so
Joker doesn't have a big role. Joker doesn't appear that much in this series. Let me give you a spoiler right there.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's that. It's a great opportunity for DC to like really cash in on their Elseworlds and their most popular Elseworlds. Yeah. It's kind of funny how Marvel's doing their Elseworlds thing, and then DC's like Injustice.
Yeah. Yep.
Which, when you think about it, is the DC version of Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Pretty much Civil War, or let me see what I'm pretty sure it's like the ultimate. I would call it the ultimate Civil War, because the Ultimate Universe is more of the more mature Marvel universe, and then Civil War.
Yeah.
This is what would realistically happen with Civil War.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah, that's what we think of the Injustice movie. It looks amazing. I am sure this was like the big, short of the Snyder cut, this was like one of the biggest announcements DC could have given me.
Yeah, no, this is really, I think, really high.
Because we're on record on the show. How many times have we said, wouldn't it be cool if we had an Injustice animated movie?
I know, yeah, we talked about it.
Injustice and Dark Knight's Metal. If they give me that, DC, you will have bought my loyalty for another 25 years.
Yeah.
But so in all, DC anime is looking really. Marvel and DC anime is actually looking really good. It looks like Marvel's finally investing in their animated.
Yes, that's really exciting.
Because for too long, and it's a known fact, Marvel has never really had as good of a track record, because they had Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Obviously, they had the X-Men animated series. They had like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. They had the Japanese Spider-Man. They had good, actually that wasn't animated, but they had really good animated series, but they're not known like DC is for animated.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
But yeah, so we'll check that out, and then hopefully we'll get more in terms of a trailer or something like that. And then, so starting when we go back to DC content, which will be in like a couple more episodes, I think, we'll start covering the Injustice storylines, just to get you guys caught up on this. Maybe we'll redo year one, but we're gonna do the whole Injustice storyline, because I have it on DCU. Just that way, at least when the things are now, if they do more of this, you're at least more familiar, and you have a resource that you can come back to. Okay, what happened in year one, year two, year three, year four? So we're gonna do that. Maybe what we should do is do a let's play of the games. It can watch me destroy you as Wonder Woman. And so for those that don't know, when we play Injustice, I always play as the Trinity, and I destroy everyone, particularly as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's true. You are pretty undefeatable in that sense.
Yes. Okay. Don't worry, lad. I will train you, my young Padawan. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it. We had some really good superhero content coming up. I'm really excited for everything. There's not one thing where I'm like not really excited for this.
Yeah. And we have the anime projects, we have the streaming service shows.
We also have the comic book series. Hang on, this one thing I got to talk about real quick. DC is doing a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Written by the guy who wrote Injustice.
Really?
It's written by Tom Taylor.
You want to explain it?
Wait. He wrote not only Injustice, but Deceased.
Oh, really?
He has a track record of writing really good Elseworlds. So basically what happens is that they announced, it's basically, I think it's called Dark Knights of Steel or something like that. And what it is, it's basically a medieval DC Elseworld story. And I'm like, ooh, this looks, I think Batman's going to be the central character, of course, because it's DC. But because they're going to have, apparently everything changes when Superman shows up, the ship crashes and everything. I wonder how they're going to reconcile Wonder Woman, because she's from Greek myth. Is she going to still be from Themyscira, or is that just be another kingdom?
That's a good question.
But yeah, I'm so excited for this, because because of the two, I always thought DC was more conducive to a medieval Elseworlds environment.
Green Arrow is just gonna fit right in as
Robin Hood. That's all he does.
Yeah,
he was born in. He looks like a Renaissance guy.
Yeah.
Who else would be really good with a Renaissance guy? Red Hood. He has 2 crossbows.
Yeah, 2 double crossbow. Oh man, I do think Batman's gonna wear like a night outfit or something like that, but like all
A
black.
lighter one, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it come in black?
Does it come in
The
black?
bat. We'll finally have the bat horse and the
Yeah.
the bat carriage,
Oh
the
man,
bat catapult.
I can just envision it. What would Cyborg be just like? Medieval tech, kind of like maybe it has like a crossbow launcher on
Steampunk,
his
maybe.
arm. Yeah, something like that.
Probably. I think Damian Wayne would be fine because he goes on a freaking sword
Yeah.
everywhere. Deathstroke would be like, okay, I just need this and a crossbow.
They're gonna do the Jester instead of the Joker or something
Hey!
like that.
Hey!
And he'll be the same. It'll be the Jester.
Nice. And Harley Quinn will be Jester.
Jester.
There you go.
Oh boy. Oh, she'll be like the acrobat or something, like the circus acrobat.
Poison
Oh,
Ivy
boy.
would be a necromancer. No, that would be. Let's see. Necromancer is someone who brings people back from the dead, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
something like
okay,
that.
that'd be Black Hand. It's like they could still do Green Lantern because the Lantern Corps still exists.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm trying to think. What else could they do for who would fit in a medieval context with DC? So we did Deathstroke. Deadshot would fit because it's Deathstroke. Let me see. Probably I would say. I think. Let me see who else. And if you guys have any ideas on which DC character would be good, and how would the Flash work?
It's a good question. Like
Maybe he gets his powers from a wizard. Well, different than Shazam. What I mean
Merlin,
is that he's by Merlin. Maybe is that potions fall. Maybe he's a wizard and potions fall on him.
Yeah, something like that.
Shazam, you could keep the exact same because that's a wizard. That's immortal.
Yeah.
Let me see who else. Wonder Woman we've kind of touched on probably, and Superman you can kind of keep because it's like he's an alien from another planet.
Yeah.
I would say in terms of Lantern, Superman. Trying to see, Supergirl's the same thing. You could keep that, but anyway, so we'll come back at this topic because this we're going to talk about, and I think that's a good place to leave it. What do you think, lad?
No, that sounds great. Yeah, good plan.
All right, so hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Robert, thanks for the great episodes suggestion. And drop what topics you guys want to see. We will do them. We are men of the people. We do whatever you guys want us to do in terms of topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Robert.
And just let us know what you want us to do. Drop in the comments who you think would be great in a medieval DC storyline. Wait, first, what would Lex Luthor would be a king in a rival kingdom?
That was a good idea. Yeah.
All right, there you go. So we'll see you guys later. Stay heroic.